What's happening? This is Tom, NerdRemix.com. I got a cool movie for you today. It's homegrown, almost Midwestern horror. It's from the state up north, Michigan. I'm one of the few people in Ohio that don't have a deep-seated hatred for the state of Michigan. That has to do with college football. I actually went to school up there, so I'm cool with Michigan. And the movie I have today is kind of a creature feature, throwback type thing, and I enjoy shit like that. So anyway, produced by Tommy and Todd Brunswick and directed by Tommy Brunswick. It was written by Joseph Thompson. Now, the Brunswicks are some of the people behind the Motor City Nightmares convention that I've attended 2 years in a row, and it keeps getting better every year, so definitely check it out this year. I'm sure they'll have cool guests. It's a well-run convention, and it's just the right size right now that it's not a total clusterfuck with a bunch of people like a certain horror magazine's conventions that I'm not going to mention. Horror Hound. But anyway, Born of Earth opens with a Baldwin, and not the least talented Baldwin. It's Daniel Baldwin playing Danny Kessler. Him and his wife Shannon are, suburban couple. Danny's putting the kids to bed, a boy and a girl. They're sleeping in the same room in a bunk bed. I have no idea why. The house seems big enough. But hey, small chink in the armor. And Danny then goes to take a dump or whatever, and some shadowy figures emerge from the ground outside and rip his wife in half rather gorily, which is really cool, by the way. Nice special effects right off the bat, and what a way to hit people right off with a woman torn in half and kids in peril, because his kids get taken and the shadowy figures go back into the ground. Aha. Fast forward 5 years, and there's a professor, Professor Phillips, played by Randall Goodwin, who has written a book about said demons and has never actually seen them, just heard tell of them, and thinks their population's getting bigger, and they're returning every 5 years. Danny talks to him, and they decide to get to the bottom of this. There's also an assistant named Pete who kind of plays the skeptic in this, but really cool, and the plot goes on. Now, I don't want to give too much away because this is a familiar plot, but it's done in a cool way, and it's done in a way that, develops and it keeps it pacing well. Well, Danny goes and sees his sister-in-law, Kelly, who still lives in the town, the titular town, which is Prophet Hills. They've had a rash of missing kids. And his sister-in-law, Kelly, who's played by Jennifer Kinzer, who is hot. Her and her daughter, which is, her name's Haley, she's played by Shannon Zeller. And her boyfriend, he's got kind of a douchebag boyfriend, played by Kevin Nowak, who has the pimpinest red Pinto I have ever seen in my life. It's badass. Now, in the town of Prophet Hills, we also find the mayor, Mayor O'Brien, who is played by none other than Brad Dourif. And to me, I'm a big fan of Brad Dourif's work. Any film with Brad Dourif is okay with me. And he's good in this. He plays a crooked mayor who soaks his fucking teeth in Johnny Walker Black. You gotta love that. That's a nice touch. And he meets a pretty fucking horrible end. And also, in the best piece of casting in this movie, the sheriff is played by James Russo, Sheriff Reeser. Perfect casting. Grumpy, over the top. Perfect casting on the sheriff. If you had John Saxon, it couldn't have been better. So anyway, the creatures are wreaking havoc in this town. And the creatures, you can see one on the poster. I didn't get box art, but if the box art is anything like a poster, check this poster out here. And you can just see this like on a garish late 80s VHS box. I mean, it just fits the movie. And there is some technical problems in this movie. Not really so much on the technical end. I mean, the movie looks sharp, the acting's there, and there's a couple audio problems, but nothing that. And the audio problems are really just kind of the soundtrack overshadowing the dialogue in the movie. The big problem with this is, like I said, you've seen this plot quite a few times in movies like this. It's almost, this kind of thing got started almost with Jaws or some of the old creature feature sci-fi movies of, the late 50s, early 60s. But really cool film, and, even with the problems with the plot and whatnot, it's still 1,000 times better than most of the Sci-Fi Channel Monster of the Week crap that they've been putting out. I mean, this could easily have been a Sci-Fi Movie of the Week if, maybe you took Daniel Baldwin out there and replaced him with some washed-up 80s teen pop star. Who knows? I don't know if they've sewn up distribution on this or anything, but I don't think it should have a problem finding distribution because it's a quality film, and I'm sure it looks a lot better than the budget, you know, kind of dictates. But like I said, there's a few plot holes. They kind of touch on something to do with, you know, Roanoke Island and the Mayans that I think they could have, you know, expounded on a little better. And you never really find out definitively what happened to the kids. But that being said, really cool creature costumes, good attention to detail. As far as I know, they probably made like 3 of them, but the creatures are pretty original. They kind of look like if the crawlers from The Descent kind of had sex with the orcs from Lord of the Rings and had offspring. This is kind of what they look like. So definitely check it out. Born of Earth, not Born of This Earth, Born of Earth. And yeah, right here's the poster. So kind of look for the creature with the talons and whatnot on a DVD soon. And I will give this a solid 7.5 out of 10. Definitely a 7.5 out of 10. Like I said, you've seen the plot a million times. There's a few holes in it, but it works as a movie. The pacing's great, and it's a lot of fun, man. I like the guy in a rubber suit movie, and fuck the CGI. They did this practical. They did it cool. There's plenty of gore, no nudity. I think there might be maybe half a boob, but other than that, you know, not much there. But hey, you don't need it. Like I said, this could easily air on the Sci-Fi Channel, their creature feature of the week thing, and kick the ass of half the CGI, overblown, washed up 80s star fucking starring role bullshit that they are regurgitating over there. So you know, Born of Earth, 7.5 out of 10. Definitely check it out. Great effort. I really liked it. And you know, solid filmmaking from Midwesterners. This is cool. This is what you try to do on a low budget, guys. Make an entertaining movie. And that's the bottom line here. This was entertaining. I'm Tom, nerdremix.com. Support independent cinema. Thanks.